We will now proceed towards our last special session for today. I request everyone to be seated.
Our profession has various roles to play, and in the past 2 days, we have been taught how to inculcate the same in our professional lives.
From IT and corporate laws to taxation, law, audit, ethics, the explosion of these have lightened up our minds.
I request Nikita Agarwal, Vice Chairperson, Ahmedabad Vikasa, to give a floral welcome to Sir.
Thank you.
I request CA Dinal Shah sir to present a memento to sir. I would like to invite CA Kaival Shah sir to give an introduction.
Padma Shri T.N. Manoharan sir, born in April 1956 in a family that belonged to a freedom fighter. T.N. Manoharan sir is a commerce graduate with a law degree. Sir completed CA in the year 1983 and set up his public practice in the same year. Sir was one of the 4 representatives of India who were appointed in the board committee for Satyam Computer Services for its restructuring. Sir has been a teacher, a board member, and a former president of our own Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Moreover, Sir was rewarded by the most prestigious Padma Shri Award in the year 2010. Sir has also been a very popular name amongst all of us CA students. So I request everyone to please have a big round of applause for one and only one, Padma Shri T.N. Manoharan sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I can start. Pleasant good evening, my dear young friends. It gives me immense pleasure to be in the city of Ahmedabad at the invitation of my good friend Dinal Shah, who is chairman of the Board of Studies, and Srimati Vandana, who is also serving the Board of Studies, and all other elected representatives of our profession seated here. I have been here since the last 45 minutes and happened to listen to the student presentations. And I'm sure all other sessions were also similar. That's what the feedback I got. And let me tell you, it is quite reassuring that the profession is in safe hands with this kind of youth, with absolute knowledge and impeccable articulation. Conferences of this nature may not build a future for you, but it will certainly build you for the future. That is the purpose, that is the objective. In fact, a reference was made about Satyam. Satyam story, some of you might have followed, but for the benefit of those who did not follow, let me clarify, I became director of Satyam after the fraud, not before the fraud. And when Government of India nominated us to revive Satyam, we decided to chair the board meetings in turns. And when my turn came to chair the board meeting, it was also conventional that the board chairman would brief the journalists, the media. So I briefed the media as to what happened that day, subject to secrecy, confidentiality, and strategical non-disclosures. And then there was Q&A. And one of the journalists asked a point-blank question. Mr. Manoharan, you are all temporary directors nominated by the government. Satyam is a sinking ship. So what are you going to achieve? You just cannot revive Satyam because you are all temporary directors on the board. With all humility at my command, I smiled at him and responded by saying, we are all temporary in this world, but we can build institutions which are permanent in this world. We can follow principles which will have eternal existence, and we can adopt value systems which will pass on for generations to follow. So we are mortals, but institutions, principles, and values are immortals. And in that context, you will have to look at ICAI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, as an institution which will have eternal existence and sustained excellence because all of you are aspiring to get into the profession. I must congratulate you for two specific reasons. The first, for being born in India. Of course, we have international delegates also from SAFA countries. And the second reason as to why I would like to congratulate you is that you have chosen to become chartered accountants. Let me also give the logic. The first reason about India is, while American population is a stagnated population, European, Australian population is a declining population, Japanese, Chinese population is aging population, it is only India's population which is young population, and you belong to that. And this will provide you opportunities as you emerge out as chartered accountant, not just within India, but across the globe. The globe is awaiting your arrival as a chartered accountant. Having been a teacher for about 2 decades to CA students, visited several countries, there is not a single country where I have not met an Indian chartered accountant, and more particularly my erstwhile students. Some of my students, when they used to converse with me, they used to talk with a sense of guilt. I used to ask them, what is the reason? They used to say, all said and done, we are not within India. I used to tell them, it is not necessary that you should be within India, but it is necessary that India should be within you. So that wherever you are, whatever you do, India gets the credit. And the reputation that Indian chartered accountant has done it, will bring a lot of glory to the profession. So from that perspective, my dear youth, my dear young friends, the world is awaiting your arrival. So that is why I congratulated you. Because less than 20 years of age, 41% of India's population is comprised of. Out of 1.35 billion, less than 20 years is 41%. 20 years to 59 years is 50%. 60 and above is just 9%. So that is the demographic composition. And if we empower this youth, because while I am boasting that India has a young population, can we say it is a skilled population? Can we say it is a healthy population? That is where we have a long way to go. To empower them with skill and health. If that is achieved, I think India will transform itself into a developed economy. The second reason as to the profession you have chosen, why I congratulated you, is there are only 2 professions in my perception who can settle down anywhere in the globe. That is, one is the technology-related profession, the other is the finance-related profession. Because these 2 are common to all nations across the globe. So without any barrier variance, you should be able to exercise your knowledge and skill in any jurisdiction and demonstrate that you can sustain yourself in any country. So from that perspective, you are blessed to choose chartered accountancy curriculum. Now, coming to this session, what is that I would like to share with you? I know that you had 2 long days of enrichment and maybe enjoyment, but it is possible that some intake can be given about your qualifying as a chartered accountant. Because it is organized by Board of Studies, how you should approach the examination. Maybe a little bit of that I can give you, and I can also share my own experience in the context of the Satyam revival, connecting it with your endeavors in future. So that is going to be the theme of my presentation over the next half an hour or so. Now, as far as the examination is concerned, how many of you are, IPCC cleared, that is intermediate cleared? So all of you are aspiring to appear for the final examination, isn't it? So Let me, to simplify your intake, assimilation of what I'm going to say because of time constraint, let me give it in capsule form so that you remember it in that context. You need 3 requisites, attributes, virtues to qualify as a chartered accountant. What are those 3 virtues? First, let me put it as 3 I's, the alphabet I, so that it registers well in your memory. The first I, which you must possess, is interest to qualify as a chartered accountant. Interest to pursue this course, chartered accountancy course. So there is another name for this. What is that? Can anybody say? Passion. You should have the passion to become a chartered accountant. You should have that urge, the burning desire, the zeal to qualify as a chartered accountant. So that is why I emphasize on this basic requisite, interest. Anything that you do in life, you have the option to undertake or not to undertake, to accept or reject. But once you undertake, even if you add no passion, you should inculcate it, because then the job becomes easier. So from that perspective, even when I used to teach the chartered accountancy students, with a lot of passion, if you teach, the knowledge gets imparted into the minds of the students in the most effective manner. A teacher should not be sharing knowledge just to cover the syllabus. Teacher should be imparting knowledge with the kind of passion that he enjoys imparting knowledge to the students. So that will serve as not as a fuel pipe, but as a spark plug, because students will automatically develop interest in the subject, and what appears to be most complicated otherwise would appear to be very simple. And those days, in the early stages, to teach CS students was easy, because CS students those days used to blindly believe what the teacher says is correct. But the present day CS students, the IQ level is so high, for which I am very proud of you. May or may not know the subject, but can easily find out whether the teacher knows the subject or not. That is your competence, that is your capability. The second requisite I want to indicate to you is intelligence. The second, I is referring to intelligence. I am not for a moment trying to suggest that you should be brilliant to qualify as a chartered accountant. If that be the case, I would not have qualified in the first place. All that you need to do is, all of us are blessed with the IQ, the required intelligence. To the extent it is required, we have to tap it. So if you are able to tap to the extent required, we qualify. Even a brilliant student, if he doesn't tap the intelligence he possesses, he doesn't qualify. So that makes the difference. So an average student sometimes gets all India rank. A brilliant student sometimes does not pass. So the reason is whether the person is able to tap the intelligence that he possesses to the adequate extent, to the required extent. The third alphabet, the I, indicates involvement. My dear young friends, there is another name for involvement. What is that? Any other suggestion? Any other little deeper? Yes? Devotion, little correlated to that. Dedication. So, see, when you are embarking upon any challenging task, like we embarked on Satyam revival, which was perceived as most challenging, maybe for you, qualifying by clearing all the papers simultaneously and maybe with an all India rank might appear to be a challenge. So whenever we are focusing on such a goal, that involvement, you have to dissolve into that task. And that happens, like they said, when you dedicate yourself to that task. with no distractions, no deviations. There was a young lad in 2000, in the year 2000, when Olympics was held in Sydney, who participated from US in the swimming competitions. He was winning medals in his country at the regional level. But Olympics being international competition, where so many countries converge and exhibit their talent and competitiveness, when he boarded the flight after the 2000 Olympics, the number of medals he had was a big zero. And the highest he could achieve was reaching 5th position in one of the events. He could have given up, saying, "This is not my cup of tea." But he came back. He came back in 2004, Athens Olympics, and he bagged 6 gold medals and 2 bronze medals. He was not contented. Again, he went on with a severe training and practice, that kind of dedication. In 2008 Beijing Olympics, he won 8 medals. All the 8 were gold medals. And out of that 8, 7 were new world record timings. Then people thought he has achieved what he wanted to achieve. He has peaked, therefore he will retire. No. 2012, he came back. And he bagged 6 medals, 4 gold, 2 silver. 2016 Rio Olympics, again he came back, bagged again 6 medals, 5 gold, 1 silver. And today he is celebrated as the most decorated Olympian in the history of humanity. 28 medals, 23 gold, 3 silver, 2 bronze. 28 medals. How many medals India has got in Olympics so far? Same 28 medals. 9 gold, 7 silver, 12 bronze. And there are 84 countries in the world who do not even have 28 medals. But there is one individual who has 28 medals. And that was possible only because he believed in what he possessed within himself. See, when you realize your inner energy, and when will you realize your inner energy? Only when you dissolve into the task and dedicate yourself. Stop not till you reach the goal. And that made him accomplish this. So from ordinary, he became extraordinary. So these are the 3 virtues: interest, absolute, intelligence, adequate, involvement, to the extent the task demands. So this is fine. Virtues, all of you can introspect whether you possess it, and it is easy to inculcate. But what is the strategy? Because when you take up a goal, more than the strength, the strategy is very important. Again, let me give you 3 bullet points for your strategy. Let me call them as 3 P's. First P is planning. You have to have a meticulous planning right from start, right from the word go, on what books to study, which attempt you will have to choose, and how you go about completing the task. For certain subjects, self-study. For certain subjects, maybe you need, guidance from faculties. All that needs to be planned. Because if you are failing to plan, that means you are planning to fail. Planning is inevitable. That is the starting point. That is the beginning. But the only caution is, you should not be spending too much time in planning. Planning is essential, but it takes minimum time. And the next P is preparation. Preparation is the most Herculean task. It is the ordeal which you will have to go through, making a lot of sacrifices. And in such a way that you get mastery over the subject. You should prepare in such a way that you know something about everything in the syllabus and everything about something in the syllabus. So that when that something about which you know everything is asked in the exam, you come out with flying colors. But even if most unpredictable question paper comes, since you know something about everything, you are able to pass. If not, with impressive marks. So preparation is nothing but hard work. And only in preparation, there is no shortcut. There was a guy who wanted to become an expert in shooting. So he went to an expert and said, I want to become a shooter. So they obtained a license for him, he procured a gun, and the expert said, I'm going on a vacation for a week. After that, I'll come and teach you. Where should we practice? So this man said, you come to our house. We have a backyard. There's a big wall. There itself you teach me. So after 1 week, he went to his house, the learner's house. And they went to the backyard. The expert was so surprised that in that wall, there were circles, and in every circle, there was a bullet mark in the center, which they call it as bullseye. So he was so surprised. How can bullets be in the bullseye? You have not even learned any technique from me. So he asked him, for 15 years I have been participating and winning medals, but even I cannot be so accurate every time. How is that you managed to do? That guy gave a very simple answer. You guys draw the circle and shoot. I shoot and then draw the circle. But unfortunately, whether you like it or not, such shortcut methods won't work in the examination. You have to, without any omission, try to master the contents of the syllabus. The third P I want to refer to is practice for performance. Many students who possess those three virtues, do the planning and preparation, still may miss out because they don't do model exams or mock tests. That is practice for performance. You have to work out, you have to solve problems to such an extent that you become proficient, you get that speed and quality, legibility, and clarity in the presentation of the answers. Because it is a very competitive one, where 180 minutes is commonly given to all of us, all of the students. So you might know answer for all the questions, but if you need 4 hours to present the answers, then your presentation will be incomplete, inadequate. So that is where speed is essential. And at the same time, when you rush to complete and answer all the 100 marks, you should not be committing mistakes. So therefore, it should be error-free. So the quality of the answer, the clarity of the answer, all those things will come when you practice for performance in the examination hall. And these things, if it is done, I'm sure the success will be yours. But this is good. This will hold good for any competitive examination, what I have just now said. But there is one more quality that you need to imbibe as a CA student. What is that? Perseverance. Perseverance should be the hallmark of a chartered accountancy student. Because things may not happen the way you want to happen, may not be for your fault, maybe due to extraneous factors, but still you should not give up. You should have the culture of crossing the finishing line, and you should have the perseverance. Let me give a very popular example for perseverance. Sachin Tendulkar. What is one record that you remember about Sachin Tendulkar, which no other cricketer in the world has done so far? 100 centuries. Now, if you pick up that data, statistics, 99th century was scored by Sachin Tendulkar on 12th of March 2011 in Nagpur against South Africa. Such a legendary personality who has scored 99 centuries, and during his long career of 24 years of cricketing, he got out 18 times in 90s. To such a legendary personality, scoring one more century should not be a challenge, isn't it? It should be a child's play. It should come very easily. Therefore, everyone was expecting him to score the 100th ton the next time he went to bat. Or the next time. It was not happening. He was getting out. 30s, 40s, single digit, 70s, but no century. And finally, when did he score? On 16th of March 2012. That is after 370 days, after 33 innings, he scored his 100th ton in Bangladesh. What does it indicate? Even for a legendary personality, for a champion, things can be elusive. And only by perseverance, he was able to withstand that pressure and went ahead and scored. But there is an important message in that. However much you have suffered or setbacks have been encountered, experienced, the moment you achieve what is extraordinary, the 100th century, the world applauded him. He created history. We don't know when that history will be matched or breached in future, isn't it? So the past becomes irrelevant. The past bundle of failures and setbacks becomes irrelevant the moment you accomplish it. So from that point of view, I'm not saying, you will definitely, after all, we are all human beings, we are not robots. We may find it difficult to accept failure or withstand failure, but you should be able to overcome it and bounce back and demonstrate to the world that you are born to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And once you achieve it, the past will be irrelevant. So that perseverance is, in fact, take PV Sindhu. 2018, 7 times she reached final in several tournaments across the globe in shuttle badminton. And all the 7 times she lost. She was runner-up. With the result, the next day the media carried the newspaper. Headlines: Sindhu settles for silver. In fact, they had those typeset ready. For any tournament she reached final, they had that matter ready because that can be automatically printed. 7 finals lost. But 8th time, that is the middle of December, she created history by winning the World Tour final shuttle badminton tournament. She is the first Indian to win that tournament and created history. When she won silver medal in Rio Olympics in 2016, history was written by saying first Indian woman to get a silver medal in Olympics, because already men have got it. So she needed 3 words to be recorded. First Indian woman. And by winning this World Tour Finals tournament, she removed that 3rd word. First Indian to win gold medal in World Tour Final. Maybe for her also the inspiration must have come from Hima Das. Because Hima Das, in 400 meter sprint, she was the first Indian to win gold medal in World Athletics tournament in the history of India. No other Indian has bagged so far. A girl under 19 from the state of Assam who could not afford to buy a sports shoe. The family background, economical background was so bad, she could not afford to buy a sports shoe. You know what is happening now after her winning gold medal in World Athletics competition? Adidas has released a shoe with the brand Hima Das. So, a girl who could not buy a sports shoe, there is a sports shoe in her name as the brand. It's like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in his student days used to carry newspapers to the households in his town to earn that extra money for his education. So a person who carried newspapers to households later became the first citizen of India, President of India, after which the newspapers carried whatever he said to the households. You know, that transformation, that manifestation is possible if you follow this kind of a thing. Now, coming back to Satyam, let me give you an insight into, in the introduction, he concluded by saying, I was given Padma Shri. Actually, when Satyam assignment was assigned to us, 6 of us met. While board meetings all would attend, one person had to oversee the strategy implementation, execute the plan, isn't it? And that is possible only if 24/7 somebody is there. So I offered to undertake that responsibility. And 97 days it took for us to conclude. And during those 97 days, customers, employees, leaders, everybody had to be motivated, cajoled to continue to patronize Satyam so that the Satyam will be able to be turned around. So in such a challenging task, when it got completed, on one fine evening, that is on 25th of January 2010, I received a call from Home Ministry saying that your name has been shortlisted, selected for Padma Shri Award. Initially, the feeling I got was surprise. I presumed it must be a hoax or a wrong call, because what did I do to deserve this award? That was my feeling. Then I called back that number and asked, who nominated me? Then they said, we'll verify and let you know. And after some time, they got back to me by saying, the other 5 directors of the government nominated board has recommended for your contribution for Satyam Revival to be conferred with this Padma Shri, which means without my knowledge, they have recommended to the government. And at that point of time, my sense of emotion was a kind of an anguish, or I can even say anger to over the government's decision to confer me Padma Shri, because I felt whatever I have done is as a citizen of the country at the call of the nation, the call of the government. So for doing my duty, why is the government settling me with an award and closing their account? So I felt disturbed. So I felt that anguish. But when that anger transformed into happiness, when my 95-year-old freedom fighter father and my 85-year-old mother stood up and applauded with a sense of jubilation when I walked into the Rashtrapati Bhavan to receive that medal from the President of India, that glow, that joy, the tears rolling down in their eyes, that is that transformed my sense of emotion into also happiness. Because, my dear young friends, why I am narrating this is, anything that you achieve is no achievement unless it makes your parents, teachers, well-wishers proud of you. It is only that achievement that makes them proud should also be considered by you as a matter of pride. So that is one experience. Now, having said this, okay, I was conferred the award. But if you ask me, touch your heart and tell who was the most, effective contributory for revival of Satyam, I must say the employees of Satyam. Because while the customers wanted to terminate the contract, we persuaded them to continue to patronize Satyam. They agreed on one condition. What was the condition? Every week, every fortnight, depending on which jurisdiction, they dictated terms saying we will have a conference call. So we'll have a follow-up call on a weekly basis. Some said on a fortnightly basis. We'll wait and watch. But if the developments are not to our expectation, our interest is likely to be prejudiced, we will terminate the contract. So that was the condition. So I used to attend to their calls on a weekly basis, fortnightly basis, and brief them on what is happening, the positive developments, and convince them that things are going in the right direction. After that conversation is over, before they terminate the call, I used to ask them, every one of the client customer, 600 plus global customers, out of whom 185 were Fortune 500 customers. So I used to ask every one of them towards the end of the conversation call one question. That question was, how is the delivery of services by Satyam employee? You know what was the reply given by all the customers uniformly? They said, before the scam, the service was good. After the scam, the service is the best. So the employees of Satyam have taken it upon themselves that this is a do or die situation. Now or never, we have to put our heart and soul, and beyond the expectations of the customers, we must serve them. Because of that, the continuity became easy. The business was going strong. Why I am mentioning this is, even in your practical training, during your student days, and post-qualification, what appears to be impossible for others, you would be able to still excel if you show this kind of, dedication that is demonstrated by the Satyam employees. Recently, you would have all read in the papers, Kerala was flooded, isn't it? Kerala was flooded, and a part of Karnataka also was flooded, Kodagu district. As non-executive chairman of Canara Bank, I thought we should be able to do something by contributing to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. But when we verified the guidelines and norms, it was not possible for certain reasons. So the bank by itself could not contribute. But still, looking at the kind of suffering of the victims, we wanted to do something. So what we did, we opened a separate bank account. I made a very nominal, insignificant contribution of 1 lakh as chairman's contribution. Then I sent a message to all the 60,000 employees of Canara Bank saying, we must, is it possible for you to consider, it was optional, it was not mandatory. Is it possible for you to consider sacrificing or contributing one day salary of yours to this by transferring to this account? And you will not believe, within 48 hours, I was standing before the Chief Minister of Kerala presenting a check for 5 crores of rupees. And when we came back to the headquarters, Bengaluru, within few days, we found the inflow was not stopping. Inflow was not stopping, and it went on for another 3.5 crores. So totally 8.5 crores, out of which 5 already given. So the remaining 3.5, we gave 2 crores to Chief Minister of Karnataka and 1.5 crores again back to Kerala. So that is how the, the kind of, unity, the bondage that is prevalent, the concern that is prevalent is something amazing, and that can transform the challenge into success. You will be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Now, ladies and gentlemen, finally, there was a best couple competition. Let me give this anecdote with a moral message for all of you. 3 couples were shortlisted, and one of the couples were chartered accountant couple. And as usual, for best couple, final round was question and answer round. So they asked the husband a very simple question. Being a chartered accountant, they asked a very simple question. If you are asked to draw up a balance sheet of your life and fit in your wife, where will you fit in? Interesting, isn't it? But he did not take much time. He said on the liability side. As what? Before engagement, she was a contingent liability. After engagement, accrued liability. And after marriage, secured liability. Then came the turn of the wife. Where will you fit in your husband if you are asked to draw a balance sheet of your life? She said, undoubtedly on the asset side. As what? Miscellaneous expenditure to the extent not written off. I'm going to ask you one question, something similar to that. If India's balance sheet is drawn and you are given the option to fit in yourself in that balance sheet, where do you want to position yourself? I know your mind is, it's ignited to assimilate and digest and then generate an answer, but I don't want an answer at all. All that I want you to do is think about it. As a once you qualify as a chartered accountant, as a member of an elite profession, where would you like to fit in yourself? I don't mind you are fitting in either on the asset side or on the liability side. But all that I am trying to suggest is, if you are positioning yourself on the asset side, as you keep growing in your profession with a social concern and a national concern, try to emerge out as part of the goodwill of India's balance sheet on the asset side. Suppose you want to position on the liability side, be part of the general reserve so that government of India will be able to draw out of your talent and declare dividend to the population of India. That should be your approach and attitude. And as part of the introduction, Kaival Shah also mentioned that I also did law. When I completed law degree, we were offered felicitation by the Bar Association and senior advocates addressed us. One of the senior advocates was so articulative to convince us that there is nothing to worry in life. Face the future very boldly. Even if everything is lost, remember the future is yours. That was the message he wanted to give. So he concluded his speech like this. I'm only repeating what he said. He said, my dear young friends, there is nothing to worry in life. After all, there are only two things possible. Either you are well or you are not well. If you are well, there is nothing to worry. If you are not well, then there are only two things possible. Either you get well or you die. If you get well, there is nothing to worry. If you die, there are only two things possible. Either you go to heaven or you go to hell. If you go to heaven, there is nothing to worry. If you go to hell, even then there is nothing to worry because all the senior advocates will be there to receive you. This is what he said. Actually, I don't think he literally meant what he said. What he meant was, both in good times and bad times, we seniors will be there to handhold the young professionals, guide you, nurture you, groom you, mold you, shape you to handle any problem, any situation in life. That is what he meant. And that is what I would like to give on behalf of the sitting council representatives, board of studies, that they are here to support you. And as senior members and past presidents, we are always there to guide you. There are only three kinds of people in the world. First, who make wonders happen. Second, who watch wonders happen. Third, who wonder what happened. To which category you should belong to? You must belong to the first category. May God give you success. May God give you strength to change things which must be changed in this country, the serenity to accept things which cannot be changed, and the wisdom to know the difference. It has been an enjoyable experience flying down from Chennai to Ahmedabad while flying back to Bangalore, I'll carry very pleasant memories of meeting all of you, greeting all of you, addressing all of you. So my dear young friends, wish you a very bright, promising 2019, and all the good things may fall and fall in your way, and all aspirations be transformed into accomplishments as you desire. So thank you very much. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your dignified words. As rightly said by you, we are mortal and institution is immortal. It provokes me to speak some motivating words. So Devanshi, would you like to join me?
For sure, let's begin.
Believe in yourself and have faith in your abilities.
Don't watch the clock. Do what it does.
Keep going. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground.
You shouldn't think of the scars because they are going to be found.
There are no limits to what you can accomplish except the limits of your own thinking.
I request everyone to be seated. The session is not yet over. Don't think of quitting. Don't let go, because you know that you have a long way to go.
Start where you are. Use what you have and do
What you can. Now, I would like to request Rahul Nagor, Managing Committee Member of Vikasa Ahmedabad, to give a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It is a great honor and a privilege for me to present a vote of thanks. Today, T.N. Manoharan sir, you made our session, the valedictory session, more valuable and memorable for all of us. I, Rahul Nagor, on behalf of Ahmedabad branch of Vikasa, present you many vote of thanks. Thank you, sir.
I would like to request our respectable evaluators of paper presentation on the stage, CA Niren Nagri and CA Yogesh Shah.
I request Sir to give him a memento. I request the evaluators to say something and give their opinions.
Friends, good evening. We know that we are running late, but it would be unfair to tell that though the name of the winners will be announced. But let me tell you that there are 200 papers, and out of 200, only 16 were selected to present the papers. That it itself is an achievement for all of you. So my congratulations to all paper presenters, and did very well. In fact, let me tell you honestly, you all made our job very difficult, and again wish you all the best.
Good evening, my dear friends, and respected T.N. Manoharji and my dear friend Dinal. When Dinal asked me yesterday morning at 9 o'clock that you have to perform the duty of a judge, I was really very unhappy. But I think today, when I'm standing in front of you, I feel very elated to be with you. And the kind of papers which we have presented is phenomenal. I mean, it was a very tough time for us because, you know, all the presenters have done a wonderful job. And I must say that we have learned many things from you also today. So this is my takeaway, that the students, the future students or future chartered accountants, we learn many things from you also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nirenbhai and Yogesh. And I think I called 9 o'clock to Nirenbhai and 9:18 at Yogesh. And Yogesh was actually participating in a table tennis tournament. He said, I have a break in between, I will come in the break. I must admit also, unfortunately lost yesterday, therefore he could come today. So to my good luck, otherwise he would not have been here. Thank you very much for accepting this request. I have a pleasant task of announcing the winners. So the first is Karishma Kaneria on the corporate laws.
Hello everyone, I am Karishma Kanedia, as you all know. Thank you very much for listening to me. I am from Surat, Gujarat itself, so it's my honor to be here. Thank you very, very much to everyone who enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.
The second prize goes to Kshitij on the audit ethics and corporate laws on session 4. He is from New Delhi. Thank you. And the third prize goes to Gopal Krishna Mahesh for session 1 on the technology. He is from Coimbatore. Thank you, sir. Sir, you can... I need 1 minute to thank you all. To be honest, when we planned this conference, I was having a fear whether we will touch 1500 or not. But we planned with 2000. And then finally we had to close at 3200. Then also there were certain... So thank you very much to all of you. Thank you to entire Vikasa team. It was a fantastic teamwork of Vikasa team. I can only tell you, I have only gone 2 times to the branch, that too only 45 minutes each. And I and Fenil were only exchanging on SMS everything. Otherwise, under the Fenil's leadership and Nirav Choksi leadership and Priyam Shah leadership, entire event has been organized. So thank you to Priyam, Fenil and Nirav Choksi and the entire Vikasa team. A special thanks to Priyam. This infrastructure with food, with the arrangements, with your 600 rupees fees was not possible. It was only because of his personal relationship with the club owners that we could get almost at a cost to cost, and we could offer you this program at 600 rupees. The balance money, whatever the cost, all credit goes to Vannaji. She will contribute the balance money. Fortunately, she has not heard this. Vannaji, I said, we only charge 600. The balance deficit, Vannaji will contribute from the institute. So thank you very much. Special thanks to Sri Lanka, Nepal and Bangladesh team for specially coming down to Ahmedabad. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope next 2 days also you will have a great experience of Gujarat. It's a wonderful city. Please enjoy, and wherever you require any help, just reach out to us. Thank you very much.
Friends, I would like to request to all of you to give a standing ovation to sir.
And last thanks to the entire BOS team, the leadership of Vannaji, everything she has been handling from Delhi. I was only taking few decisions, the majority of the decisions she was taking. So all credit goes to BOS team for this excellent and a good performance. Thank you.
Friends, I request to all of you to give a standing ovation to sir, because as we know,
Sir, I'd like to thank everyone who has been a part of this event. I would like to thank Fennel sir, Neerav sir for their support, all the regional council members, central council members, and the Board of Studies. Thank you so much for providing us with this opportunity.
May I request all the foreign delegates also to come on the stage? And the Vikasa team also. We'll have a group photo. It will be a mark of remembrance for all of us. And all the paper presenters also. All the paper presenters.